all I was at that time was just another dumb kid in front of the mirror, pretending, hoping, wishing, wondering, and there it was. All of a sudden, it was happening.
Or Foghat.
Funny thing is, I can contest to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, that went on for a long time. Then, about 2011 or so, just like, man, the club scene in Tulsa had changed a lot. It was like, I don't know, I just felt really frustrated. We've been working on all this recordings and stuff, and we're just, we weren't able to really get anywhere. And so I was like, well, I got this chance to go play and do some solo stuff, so I'm going to go do this, get out on the road and go play my music in front of people who never heard me before, and I was lucky enough to be befriended by my friend Ted Russell Camp. He's plays with Shooter Jennings a lot. That's kind of his main gig, but he always also does some of his other music, solo music, and he tours all over the world. And he's a heck of a bass player and a producer and a musical friend of mine, and so I got to do a lot of stuff with him, and that really, you get to sharpen the knives a little bit differently when you do it that way. Once again, playing Lukenbach, Texas was always not the song, but the place. That was always a dream of mine. Playing Green Hall was a dream of mine. Playing, doing stuff like that I never could have done if I stayed in Hurricane Mesa. So those experiences all kind of, roll up into a pretty good story. And so I was doing that, and I was a sideman for a few people. And by 2014, I'd been through 12 states. I'd toured all over 12 states, either as a sideman or solo gigs. And then New Year's Eve, I got hurt. Somebody pulled out in front of me on Route 66 on New Year's Eve about 8 o'clock. And, it was quite a wreck. And so I was off my feet for 5 or 6 months. So in the 5 or 6 months I was off my feet, it was like, hey, Robin Trower's coming back to Kane's Ballroom. And I've got some unfinished songs here I want to get out, And so we got on the Trower gig, and so that was sort of my inspiration to really get to where I could get up and walk around again, So I got hurt New Year's Eve. We played with Trower like June the 5th or something that year. And, it felt good to be back with Sean and Ace because, when you're out on the road and you're picking up a band, even the best players, they're going to know what you're doing, but it's just not that solid feeling of people you've known for a long time. So that was cool. And, we were trying to evolve the band and get things going again. And, Ace had a lot of health issues. And it was, the climate in Tulsa had changed since we started doing it. So, just trying to get back to figure out what was next is hard, and I don't think anybody's really got the answers.
No.
So that kind of brings us up to present day. Ace, about 1 year ago, he passed away on August 26, 2016. And it was kind of like a real surprise to us, because at the time we were ramping up to get this new, I say new, but some of our archive recordings, really. And about half of them we were out there playing. About the other half of them we hadn't really played, hadn't really discovered it, put it out there live yet. So we're trying to get, that 3 to 6 month window where you go out there and you get, reviewed, and you get performances, and you get, some things happening, all going towards, getting this album out there. So we did this interview at my house. John Woolley, the music writer from the Tulsa World, and heck of an interesting character himself. He's a friend of mine and a neighbor, so he came over and interviewed us for Oklahoma Magazine. So me and Ace did this interview, and that came out in August, and Ace died at the end of the month, so it was kind of like, now what do I do? So which brings us to the present day. I was like, well, this is the way I make my way through life, so I got to do something. So I booked acoustic gigs, sideman gigs, and and then Sean and I decided, well, we should do like a duo instead of just, two guys showing up with acoustic guitars like most acoustic duos are. Let's just try something else. So he brings a half a drum set out there, and I bring some guitar, and we, just kind of like devolve what we've been doing together for 17 years. And so,
it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It wasn't the same either.
It wasn't the same, but we were still like, okay, we got to prove to people and ourselves that we can go out there and keep going. Because, people, they think if you're not out there doing it all the time that you've died and dried up and quit and gone away. And I was just like, no, that wasn't the case. We went out there and we played anywhere we could. And, meanwhile, we're paying some bills and staying alive.
Yeah.
And so then I hear from Tracy, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, man, it's been a real rough ride here lately, a lot of things have happened. And he's like, well, my kids are grown up, and I'm ready to play again, so looks like you need some help. It's like, yeah, I am.
Full circle again. It looks like you need some help.
So it's kind of cool because, the three of us, we never really got to play any of the songs together live from Cast Iron Constitution. It was always other bass players playing their interpretation of his lines off Cast Iron Constitution. So now we're kind of getting another swing at it, really. 18 years later.
Right. Damn near. Damn near.
Well, the cool part is it's new to us. Even though it's old, it's still new.
Well, some of the songs, it's like, oh, okay, feels new. Well, we're kind of reworking some things in them, maybe.
And
make it more palatable, I guess.
For a while, even before I contacted Matt, I just felt like, and I would even, tell my wife, I just felt compelled, something telling me that I need to see how he's doing. You know what I mean? As close as a friend as he is, I know we're very, very close. And so, that was my first real reasoning for contacting. It wasn't really for the Hurricane Mason. I just kind of evolved with it. Just getting my feet back on and, learning these guys and figuring out, this all over again. I'm 45 years old. I mean, it's been quite a few years since I've played live, full on, And so it gets better and better, I think, as we move along, and I get a little bit more, you rebuild that confidence as a player, and just amazed. Get that second opportunity. Some people don't ever get that, and I think that's a lot of our history. Hurricane Mason is a wonderful, great time band. And that's what we are. We enjoy what we do, and we're very active listeners. Listen to all kinds of different styles of music, and we just put our minds together and just go with all kinds of stuff, And now we're where we're at now, essentially.
Yeah.
The next phase of whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
It's going to be different.
I mean, just the other night we was playing on stage. I'm thinking, man, I can't believe I'm doing this. It's a trip.
So, how long has it been since you rejoined the band? Because we played a show together 8 months ago.
That was in December. He came in there. We did this gig in May, back in May.
That was Dave with us, wasn't it? Dave Olson?
Yeah, Dave played that gig when we played with the Buzzards at the Christmas field at the Crystal Skull. That was... Dave Olson played bass. After Ace died, we played with 4 or 5 bass players, and we were just kind of like, I told Sean, I was like, man, look, Government Mule went through the same thing with Woody.
Yes, they did.
And we're not well known like they are and rich enough to pull off all these stunts with all these different bass players and recording in New Orleans and all this stuff. But let's try to, have some fun playing the stuff we've played together off and on for 15 years. And not make it so serious about all pushing our originals so much, is because, we're kind of it's shocking, man. You don't meet people like Ace in your life.
No.
Much. He's one of those cosmic type people. And so we had a good time last fall playing with, Dave Olson from Sons of the Dust. He played a few gigs. And James Mormon from the Salty Dogs. He played a few gigs. And
that December gig that we all did together was fantastic.
We had a good time, man. You guys were really entertaining.
Oh, thank you.
And I loved that, watching that guy paint. It was so cool.
That was awesome.
As we were playing, here he is painting.
Oh, yeah.
That was
You
just
told
so
me about
awesome.
that.
John Stout, the Native American artist. He is so
amazing.
good.
It was a really,
Love that.
really cool show. your guys' version of space trucking.
Oh yeah,
Well,
love that song.
we had been working on playing it, and then we were like, well, fuck that. Fuck it, we'll do something else.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't get away with, wearing that suit you had on.
Oh, the bright pink.
I thought it was powder blue, but it could have
Oh,
been
no,
pink.
I was still wearing the
It was
blue
the
one.
blue
then.
one, I wasn't.
Yeah. I rotate back and forth. I got a yellow one coming in pretty soon.
That was classic, dude.
I really like you guys because it's like four different people. Four different people, just totally you got, this sort of look older punk rock drummer guy, and then this younger chick playing bass, and then yourself in this suit, and then Lefty. It's just really entertaining and engaging, I thought. And I'm like,
Looked like a hell of a lot of fun.
yeah,
too.
man.
We enjoy the shit out of it, and our bass player, she deserves mad props because she picked up the bass. Let's see, we did that in December, so she had picked up the bass in February.
Wow.
For the first time ever. She'd never touched it. She'd never touched it before. And our bass player did that thing dumb adults do and had children.
Uh-huh.
And so he had to... What is it with you guys? That seems... It's weird, but you probably did it on purpose. He didn't. So...
Well, some shit happens.
So he had to go do adult things. And she had sang for us years ago. At that point, 5 or 6 years before that, and we were just like, okay, well, if you're gonna hang around and do stuff, then
Yeah.
here's a bass, and because we had commitments to keep, and it was just like, well, you better you learn fast, and she did.
Yeah, well, that's cool, man. You guys are fun. We enjoyed that.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to maybe doing some more shows with you guys.
It was a great show. Her car got repoed during that gig.
Oh, no.
So that's testament to how entertaining you are, because she still came back in and had a great time.
Wow.
Her whole life pretty much got repoed.
no.
Impressive.
Oh, no.
That just tells you the
Was there
power
gear
of
out there and everything?
She had because her bass at the time still technically belonged to me, so it was with me. But her purse, her driver's license, all the money from the last 3 gigs.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, huh? God dang, man, this theft is rampant. I mean, Sean got hit a couple weeks ago. My friend Steve Pounds got hit last week.
He
It's
sure
just
did.
like everyone
He
watched
got his whole
your
car
stuff.
stolen.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a storage unit for my shit right now.
Everybody watched your
That
stuff.
right there. That is why I drive the car that I drive.
Just a mile away from my house.
You get into that thing, and I've seen it happen. We were in research, my wife and I, and we're coming outside, and there's a guy opens the door to my car, gets in. There's 45 seconds. Opens the door and gets back out because they see the column shifter and think it's an automatic, and then they see 3 pedals, and they're like, nope.
I'm out. So you saw it.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's not the first time. I leave it. If it's not going to rain, the windows are down, the car's unlocked. If there's something in there you feel like you need to take, because the radio only fits that car. I'm the only one that can drive it. What are you going to do? Take the 45 cents that are in the change holder?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're welcome to it.
Right.
Man,
Talking about the Falcon out there?
Yeah.
Sweet car.
that is
Thank
sweet.
you. That is my daily driver. When I got her, she had 8,000 original miles on her.
Oh,
Awesome.
my.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got it from the original owner.
Wow.
My uncle had a maroon Falcon. It was probably a 67, 68. I don't know. It was pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that's the 65
Pretty
out
cool.
there. And then we've got, because we're a car family, we've got that 69 Beetle that's waiting on a clutch, which was my alternate. Whenever something started to piss me off about the Falcon, I'd drive that for a few weeks and then remember why I liked it.
Right.
And then we've got a 51 Plymouth Concorde out here that needs brake lights, and then she's ready to go.
Wow.
Nice.
It keeps me and the old man out of trouble.
Right.
So we've talked about, you guys have talked about the albums you did very briefly and things like that, but making your first real record is a very formative experience, which me and the rest of the Buzzards have gone through recently. We have an album out, but we recorded it in an 8-hour session, so it doesn't really count.
It counts. They did Black Sabbath Paranoid in 16 hours.
I like that. I'm proud of that record. It sounds good.
Sounded cool. I liked it.
But the new stuff to me is actually sitting down and make a record and really work. So, what did you guys, going from being a live band to going into the studio, what did that teach you? Because there's all. I mean, I